Hey there, movie enthusiasts, get ready to take a nostalgic trip back to 1989 as we dive into the captivating world of White Wedding. The movie begins with a man named Francoise, who is the professor teaching a class. One of our students, named Matilda, came 45 minutes late to class. This made Francois annoyed, and he asked her the reason for being late. Matilda didn't answer, which made him angry, and he asked to leave the class. After the class is over, he finds Matilda lying at a bus stop, and people around her are concerned for her. When he went over there, he got to know that she fainted. He takes her back to her home. There, he got to know she lives alone as her parents are divorced. He said that he would call the doctor, but she refused. Feeling bad for her situation, he informed her that he will visit her after the class to check up on her health. Francois went back to school and saw her grades. He was shocked to know that she performed poorly in all her subjects. He then visits Mathilde. She thanked him for helping her out. She then went to wear some clothes, and Francois decided to leave. But when he was leaving, Mathilde stops him and asks him to stay. He agrees, and she gets dressed. He asked her why she didn't move to Paris and lived with her mother. She tells him that her mother is mentally unstable and has even tried to take her life several times. He informs her about her father, who also doesn't care for her. She then asks him about his wife, and he tells her that her wife manages her bookshop and writes articles. Just then, her telephone rang, but Matilda ignored it. She invites him to lunch to take care of her so well. Francois agrees, and they both visit the restaurant. They both talked about Matilda's academics. After dinner, Matilda told him that she likes him as he is, as alone as she is, but he says that he has her wife, friends, and students. He then consoles her that she will find someone. When he dropped her at her house, he told her to be on time to school and focus on her studies. She says that she will do so and kisses him on his cheeks. The next day, Francois didn't start the class as he was waiting for Mathilde. After some time, she came, and he started teaching. He asked everyone a question about philosophy, and Mathilde raised her arm to answer it. Impressed by her answer, Francois asked her to take his place and explain the concept to everyone. That is when he realizes that she has an exceptional mind. After that class, he appreciated her and asked her to work hard. Matilda says that she will and asks him to visit her place if she likes. Later that day, professors were meeting to discuss the case of Matilda to expel her and let her stay. Francois convinced everyone to let her stay and give her a second chance. They all agreed. He then visits her home and teaches her so that she can increase her grades. While teaching, a guy shows up outside her house. She then goes to meet her for a few seconds. After coming back, he questions her about the guy, and she says that he is a childhood friend. But he finds that hard to believe and asks her why he came here. But Matilda dodges the question. Francois saw her taking the money secretly and left her place in anger. When he reaches his house, his telephone starts ringing. It was Matilda, on the other hand, and wished him good night. During the night, her wife, Catherine, asks him if something bothers him, but he dismisses it. Then she asks what's so special about this student who called her, and he informs her about the situation. He also mentions that she is exceptional, being so young. Her wife asks him if he is in love with her, to which he says that she is being silly. The next morning, his telephone starts ringing. Catherine picked it up, but it was hung up. It happened twice, and when the phone rang again, Francois picked it up, and it was Matilda. Catherine asks Francois why did she hang up the phone when she picks it up, but he ignores it and leaves. The next day, everyone had their exam. During the exam, he sat beside Matilda and started guiding her. Matilda touched her hand romantically, but he stood up. But that's when he starts fantasizing about her. Later at her home, he again teaches her some lessons. This continued for a few days. But one day, Matilda didn't come to class. Worried about her, he visited her house. No one answered, and just when he was about to leave, he saw that same guy left with a bunch of kids leaving. He went back to the house again in anger and started yelling at her. He threw stuff out in anger and started questioning her. Matilda says that she is happy, and that makes him jealous. She then kissed him and removed her clothes. They started spending time together and making love. He also kept on teaching her. One day, when he reached his house, Catherine sensed that he was hiding things from her. She doubts that he is in love with the girl and cheating on her. But Francois refuses it. One day, teachers congratulated Francois on giving Matilda a second chance as she is improving a lot in her academics. Matilda surprised him there, and they both kissed and left in a car. One of the teachers saw it, they visited her house, and they both made love and talked about traveling. Just then, her telephone rang and she was informed that her mother again tried to take her life. She says that she will have to visit her as it's serious. She also informs him that she was a hooker in Paris for 2 to 3 years. He is shocked by this, but Matilda assures him that she loves him and has left everything. He finds it difficult to trust her and starts leaving. Matilda tried to seduce him, but it didn't work. After reaching home, his telephone again started ringing, but this time he didn't pick it up. Catherine starts questioning her and breaks a glass in anger. She then starts crying and locks herself in a room. She then leaves the house and she doesn't get any assurance from him. Now, he was left all alone. He started losing interest in everything. He used to wait in front of her house and wait for her call. One day, she called him and told him that she missed him and she would be back soon. Francois says that he misses her too and loves her. One day, when he was sleeping, his telephone rang. It was Matilda who told him to look outside his house. He looked and found her there. She hugged him and they both made love. Matilda then tells him to leave his wife and stay with her. He refuses her as she's 17, but she tells him that she loves him a lot and cares for him. She says that she hasn't felt like this for anyone and can live all her life with him, but Francois says that he can't do it. Mathilde asks him to make love to her one last time, and then he won't see her again. After a few days, her wife returns and says it's good that he stopped seeing her and he will get better soon. Francois informs her that Matilda wants him to leave her. One day, when Francois was teaching the class, he noticed that she was very close to a guy. She wasn't paying attention in class, and this made Francois very angry. To make him more jealous, Matilda starts kissing guys in front of Francois. This was upsetting him, but he couldn't do anything. She slapped her when he saw her making love to another guy. That night, Catherine informs him that Matilda called her and threatened to kill her, but Francois didn't pay any attention to it. The next morning, he asked the teacher to expel her, but she said there was no reason for it. Just then, he received a call from her wife. He leaves the school in a hurry. On visiting there, Catherine informed her that Matilda with her friend attacked her bookshop and broke glasses. They also bumped her car when she was coming to the bookshop, and even her editor was receiving threats. He left for school in anger and dragged her out of the class to speak with her in private. He then slapped her, but she replied that she loved him. He slapped her again, but she hugged him. He hugged him back, and they both started making out. But one teacher saw it. Just then a kid comes and tells the teacher that the headmaster wants to see Mathilde and Francois. And it's serious. The teacher left and took the kid with her. But another kid came to collect his bag from the room and saw them making out. He screamed to all his classmates about what was happening inside, and everyone came running to look through the window. Because of immoral professional conduct, Francois was rebuked by the department and transferred to another city. Matilda's mother died the next day. Catherine was deeply hurt and didn't forgive Francois. They both got separated. 1 year passed by. He was teaching a class. After the class, he leaves for his house. Upon reaching there, he receives a call informing him about a dead body of a girl named Matilda and asks him to visit. He visits the palace and sees her body. He felt guilty and upset after seeing her lying cold. The room owner told him that she came 2 months back and used to sit inside all day looking out of the window. When Francois looked out of the window, he saw the gate of his class where he used to teach. There was a line written on the wall saying, "There is the ocean, Francois." After reading it, he went to the ocean and sat there thinking about her and the choices he made. The movie ends here.